My good friend and my wife betrayed me. By my sickbed, I witnessed the affair between my wife and my good friend. I died. My body, still warm, was hastily sent to the crematorium. My mother rushed over overnight, but couldn't see me one last time. When I woke up again, I had returned to my college days, to the day I confessed my feelings to Su Jing. 756. I was reborn. The woman before me was Su Jing, her head tilted back, revealing her slender neck. Looking at her face made me sick. An uncontrollable impulse surged within me, and I raised my hand and slapped Su Jing hard across the face. The air instantly froze, and the noisy crowd seemed to have been muted. Gun Yin, you dare to hit me? Su Jing covered her face in disbelief. I ignored her and discreetly scanned the surrounding crowd. When my gaze met that pair of eyes hiding in the shadows among the crowd, a cold smirk curled at the corner of my mouth. I didn't give her a chance, throwing down the flowers in my hand. Thank heaven for giving me the chance to be reborn. Su Jing, Qin Hao, in this life I will make you pay blood for blood. Oh, in my previous life, Su Jing was the acknowledged campus beauty at our school. When I first entered school, I was also attracted by her beauty and pursued her madly. However, Su Jing's attitude toward me was always hot and cold, keeping me at a distance yet close. Just when I was disheartened and ready to give up, she suddenly accepted my confession. I was overjoyed, thinking I had finally found the love I had always dreamed of. Throughout 4 years of university, I devoted almost all my time and energy to Su Jing, nearly failing to get my degree. After graduation, I eagerly married Su Jing and arranged for her to work at my family's company. However, misfortune strikes when least expected. Company secrets were repeatedly leaked, and performance plummeted. Before long, the company declared bankruptcy and shut down. My father couldn't bear this enormous blow and, in a moment of despair, chose to end his life by jumping from a building. I suppressed my grief, arranged my father's funeral, and dragged my exhausted body home, only to find not Su Jing's gentle comfort waiting for me, but a cold divorce agreement. I was stunned, my mind completely blank, and I asked her why she wanted a divorce. She cried complainingly. Your family is bankrupt. I can no longer buy luxury goods or frequently travel abroad for vacations. I thought she was just speaking out of anger, just testing me, but I never imagined she was serious about it. Unwilling to endure even a single day of hardship. I was just too naive back then. Looking back now, I truly hate myself enough to slap myself to death. To satisfy Su Jing's various material demands, I worked desperately, holding 3 jobs each day. Programming at a company during the day, delivering food after work, and working as a design-aided driver at midnight. I gave all the money to her. I thought it was then that Su Jing fell into Qin Hao's arms. At this moment, Qin Hao jumped out, interrupting my thoughts, pointing at my nose and scolding. Gun Yan, you scumbag, do you think having money gives you the right to play with other people's feelings? You even dare to hit someone. What does my family's wealth have to do with you? Stop attacking me, I don't fall for this act. I sneered dismissively. The surrounding crowd began to whisper among themselves as I pushed through and left. Compared to the tragic ending of my previous life, what did a little ridicule matter? Su Jing's aggrieved voice came from behind. Gun Yan, if you dare walk away today, I'll break up with you. Even if you come back and kneel to apologize, I won't forgive you. The fire of revenge in my heart burned stronger. Intense hatred almost consuming my rationality. Taking a deep breath, I didn't look back. Now wasn't the best time yet. Let them be arrogant for a few more days. I dialed Zhao Uncle's number. Uncle Zhao is the head of security at the Gu Group and one of my father's most trusted people. Young master, what can I do for you? Uncle Zhao's steady voice came from the other end of the phone. Uncle Zhao, send 2 people to keep an eye on Su Jing and Qin Hao. I'll take care of it right away. Uncle Zhao hung up after responding. I had just walked into the dormitory when Qin Hao followed me in. In my previous life, he colluded with Su Jing to obtain my family company's secrets. Yet I foolishly considered him my good brother, and when trouble came, I was unwilling to implicate him. Looking back now, he was already scheming against me at this time. Gun Yan, listen to me. Girls just need some coaxing. Haven't you always treated Jing Jing as your goddess? What's wrong with you today? I looked at him coldly, while his gaze toward me carried a hint of disdain. Jing Jing, how affectionately he calls her. Soon Qin Hao realized he had misspoken and hurriedly explained. So many people are pursuing Su Jing, yet she specifically chose you. That's your good fortune, don't be ungrateful. I'll be ungrateful then. You like her too, don't you? I sneered. Sure enough, Qin Hao's face immediately darkened, a flash of murderous intent in his eyes, which I caught. In my previous life, after I got together with Su Jing, I always brought Qin Hao along. When the 3 of us went out for meals or karaoke, I was always the one paying. Living this life again, I won't be a sucker anymore. Instead, I'll make them receive the punishment they deserve. I began to focus on my studies so I could help my father manage the company after graduation. A month passed like this and then an unexpected person came looking for me. Gunyan, you're really petty. It's been a month and you haven't come to find me. What I said that day was just out of anger. Su Jing's face showed arrogance, as if her willingness to come give me a way out was some great favor. I frowned with disgust, instinctively leaning away to maintain a safe distance. Su Jing, I wasn't speaking in anger. We're finished. My tone was ice-cold, devoid of any emotion. Her expression became extremely awkward, her shrill voice nearly piercing my eardrums. Don't regret this. I was giving you face, wasn't I? As she raised her hand, I watched her calmly, my eyes showing newfound determination. I glanced at her. By the way, please inventory all the gifts I've given you. I'll send someone to retrieve them this afternoon. Su Jing stepped back twice, saying with contempt, You're so shameless asking for gifts back after giving them. Isn't your family very wealthy? Or have you set your eyes on someone else and want to regift them? After speaking, she looked at me in disbelief. I'm not as despicable as you think, juggling multiple relationships. My words caused Su Jing to panic slightly. Indeed, she had been seeing Qin Hao behind my back. I turned and left without hesitation, leaving Su Jing standing alone. Such disgusting, hypocritical performance. I was truly blind to have fallen for her in my previous life. For her sake, I had turned against my parents, ultimately leading to the downfall of my family. Fortunately, heaven has given me a chance to be reborn, and I won't waste it on someone so unworthy. I thought they would quiet down for a while, but they started causing trouble again before long. Su Jing began to frequently accidentally run into me. Each time, I would walk past her as if she were invisible. When they saw this tactic wasn't working, they started spreading rumors about me at school. They said I spent every day in nightclubs and had exhausted my body. They even claimed I had contracted a dirty disease. I paid no attention to any of it. No explanations, no responses, and the rumors couldn't last long. Until my teacher found me and said seriously, Gunyan, I don't care about your private life, but it cannot affect your studies or the school's reputation. I hope you can resolve this matter. I didn't explain much but promised to handle it within a few days. But after leaving the school gates, I encountered those thugs from my previous life who were looking at me with ill intentions. I secretly dialed 110 to call the police, and after connecting, I slipped the phone into my coat pocket. Young Master Gu, we know your family is very wealthy, so we brothers have come specially to meet you. How much did the person who sent you promise to pay if you succeed? The thugs clearly hadn't expected me to be so calm, and were momentarily speechless. At this moment, I calculated that Su Jing should be making her entrance soon. This clumsy act was definitely orchestrated by Qin Hao. Only someone close to me would know what time I left school. Sure enough, a few seconds later, Su Jing arrived as expected, righteously standing in front of me. What are you trying to do? Don't bully Gunyan, she shouted loudly, with the appearance of someone willing to sacrifice herself. I'll offer triple the price. Just tell me who's behind this. That's 30,000 yuan for each of you, I shouted. The yellow-haired leader was stunned for a few seconds, immediately changing to a fawning expression. Young Master Gu, are you telling the truth? Of course, as long as you tell the truth, I'll immediately send someone over with the money. You know my family is wealthy, right? Ha ha ha. Su Jing stood there dumbfounded at this moment. She hadn't expected me to say this and froze in place. It's her, she said she would give us 10,000 yuan afterward. The yellow-haired leader suddenly pointed at Su Jing, stating firmly, How could you do this? You took my money, where's your credibility? Before she could finish speaking, she realized that I had seen through her lie, immediately covering her face with both hands, not daring to look at me. I took out my phone, stopped the recording and sent it directly to Butler Zhao. Young Master Gu, where's the money? We followed your instructions and pointed out who hired us. The yellow-haired man was walking toward me smugly, extending his hand. But in the next second, a group of police descended from nowhere, putting silver bracelets on all of them, including Su Jing. Take them all away. Gunyan, you bastard, why would you do this to me? I just loved you too much, that's why I did this. I can't have a criminal record, let me go. Su Jing struggled desperately, but the police were professionals who didn't listen and directly pushed her into the police car. Su Jing and the thugs' faces turned pale. Uncle Zhao also handed the recording to the police. Soon Qin Hao went to the police station to bail out Su Jing, saying it was all a misunderstanding, that those people were paid actors hired for a school stage play. As soon as the two left the police station, they hurried to a hotel and got a room. They used my black gold card to pay. Su Jing didn't know, but it was a supplementary card, and every transaction record would be sent to my phone. I called my bodyguards and kicked open the hotel room door. The room was filled with a lewd smell, clothes carelessly thrown all over the floor. Qin Hao rushed forward trying to close the door but was stopped by my bodyguards. I looked at him with disgust. Could you put your clothes on before getting out of bed? I'm nauseated. Qin Hao was pressed against the wall, his face turning as red as a crimson duck. I ignored him and walked up to Su Jing. Su Jing nervously said, Gunyan, I just took a shower to wash away the bad luck. We didn't do anything. The bodyguard timely produced a record, and I pointed at the dozen or so entries on it saying, using my card to book hotel rooms with someone else. I wanted them to taste what it feels like to be betrayed. Before she could react, the flimsy expense records were thrown on the floor. She bent down to pick them up, then remembered she wasn't dressed, making her expression extremely uncomfortable. I sneered and said, What are you afraid of? We all just saw everything anyway. So you actually have shame after all. Su Jing stared at me with wide eyes, unable to believe I would say something so harsh. She reached out trying to grab me, but was restrained by the bodyguard who seized her wrist. I quickly instructed the bodyguard to release her hand. Su Jing thought I was feeling sorry for her, and resumed her arrogant attitude. Gunyan, I admit what I did was wrong, but I was just trying to make you angry. Nothing happened between Qin Hao and me. Go get your brain checked if it's broken. Who do you think you are? I turned to the bodyguard with disgust and asked, Where are your gloves? I told you this would be dirty work. What if you catch something? Su Jing stared at me anxiously. Gunyan, what do you mean by catch something? I signaled the bodyguard to take out his phone and start playing a video. Qin Hao had brought more than 10 different women to this hotel over the past month, including Su Jing, of course. I smirked and said to Su Jing, Well, Qin Hao has been quite enthusiastic, bringing different women every day to dispel bad luck. Su Jing's face turned deathly pale. Seeing his scandal exposed, Qin Hao broke free from the bodyguard's grip and tried to run outside, not even bothering to take his clothes. I didn't stop him. After all, his part in this drama wasn't over yet. This kind of naked run would be interesting to many people, and some would take pictures. Sure enough, not long after, someone posted on a forum saying the naked man was a student from a certain school, and uploaded high-resolution photos. People immediately recognized him as Qin Hao. He instantly became a celebrity at school. He hid in his dormitory for several days, not daring to attend classes. Soon after, I saw Su Jing and Qin Hao by the campus lake again. But this time they were arguing. I slowly walked nearby and hid behind a tree, quietly listening to their conversation. You bastard, you lied to me about being faithful, so I gave myself to you, and now I'm pregnant, and also infected with that dirty disease. Woo. Su Jing, stop slandering me. You've had other men too, haven't you? Haven't you been to nightclubs? I've seen you being intimate with old men who could be your father several times at night. I could also say you infected me with the disease. Humph. Slut. After saying this, he shook off Su Jing's hand. Jin Jing wobbled unsteadily in her high heels, almost falling backward into the lake. Ah! Her cry attracted the attention of many passing stud-ins. More and more people gathered around, and the revelations became increasingly dramatic. Jin Jing, if you hadn't been stringing Gunyan along, we wouldn't have gotten the money, and we would have been caught by him. Qin Hao exploded, revealing their plan. You were the one who told me to do it. You said you were a rich second-generation heir, and asked me to steal company secrets from his family for your company. Who knew you were just gathering information for that old woman? She could be your mother, and yet you had no shame. Shut up. That old woman, no, that woman is my godmother. She promised to give me money to start a company after graduation. And what about you? What can you give me? Always acting like a spoiled princess when you don't have that privilege. Originally, that fool Gunyan was willing to spend money on you, but now even he doesn't want you anymore. Qin Hao said contemptuously. I emerged from behind the tree and cleared my throat softly. The people around all turned to look at me simultaneously. Qin Hao and Su Jing were greatly surprised. Gunyan, you. Why are you here? Su Jing spoke first. I smiled and clapped my hands. I was just passing by. Didn't expect to see such a good show. Dogs biting dogs, very entertaining indeed. My words brought laughter from the crowd around. Qin Hao quickly covered his face with his hands. Isn't this the naked guy? Turns out he looks decent enough, being kept by a rich older woman to bringing shame to our school. Someone said loudly. That's right. How can such people have the nerve to stay at our school? They should be expelled. Someone quickly chimed in. There were also people recording videos with their phones. The two of them turned pale and hurriedly fled the scene. The content of their argument by the lake was quickly posted on the campus forum, spreading throughout the entire school like the wind. After the school leaders learned about it, they urgently called a meeting. However, after this, Su Jing and Qin Hao were ridiculed wherever they went. The so-called godmother that Qin Hao mentioned also saw the post on the forum, and without saying much, drove him out of the villa and had someone break his legs. As for Su Jing's parents, after learning what she had done, they immediately severed ties with her. Soon, The school issued an announcement that both individuals were expelled due to misconduct. Qin Hao became afraid. He didn't dare offend me anymore, and he grew to hate Su Jing. Oh! In a dark corner of this city, Qin Hao, limping badly, found Su Jing. Qin Hao walked over furiously, grabbed Su Jing's hair and said viciously, "You bitch! Look what you've done to me! Qin Hao, what are you trying to do? Let me go!" Su Jing looked at Qin Hao in terror, trying to break free, her voice becoming shrill with fear. "What am I trying to do? If it weren't for you seducing me, I wouldn't be in this situation today. Everything is your fault." Qin Hao roared with rage, his spittle spraying onto Su Jing's face, his eyes bloodshot, like a wild beast ready to devour someone. Su Jing trembled all over at Qin Hao's words, tears bursting from her eyes as she explained in a shaking voice. "I didn't. You were the one who came looking for me." Qin Hao was completely enraged, raised his hand, and slapped Su Jing hard across the face several times. With crisp slap 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 sounds, Su Jing's frail body fell helplessly to the ground, covering her face and whimpering in pain. Her cheeks immediately swelled red, and blood seeped from the corner of her mouth. "Don't hit me. If it weren't for you, would I have deceived Gunyan? I have nothing now, my parents have disowned me. I don't even have money to rent a place. Who can I turn to for justice?" Su Jing pleaded painfully, her voice broken and weak. "You worthless, unfaithful woman." Qin Hao completely lost control, angrily kicking Su Jing in the stomach. "Ah! It hurts." Su Jing let out a muffled cry, curling into a ball with a pale face, writhing in pain. Soon after, Su Jing's dress was stained red, with a pool of blood on the floor. Qin Hao panicked and ran away, abandoning Su Jing. Fortunately, a passerby called Emergency Services 120, had Su Jing taken to the hospital, and notified the police, who then contacted her parents. After all, she was their daughter whom they had raised for over 20 years, so her parents went to the hospital and paid the medical expenses. When Su Jing woke up, she learned from the doctor that she had lost the baby and damaged her uterus, likely making it impossible for her to get pregnant in the future. Additionally, she found out she had contracted HIV, though she had been given preventative medication in time, and was still under observation. Upon hearing this, she immediately fainted. A week later, Su Jing was discharged from the hospital. Her parents took her back to their hometown. "I thought she would never return." I heard this from a female classmate who used to be close friends with her. This classmate also brought a message from Su Jing, saying that as long as I forgave her, she wouldn't care about official status. I laughed when I heard this. Did she think we were living in ancient times? She didn't care about official status, but I did. I have money, and the woman I want to marry must be pure and virtuous. As for Qin Hao, after he ran away, he had no money and resorted to theft. He was caught in the act and while resisting, hit someone's head with a brick, causing them to fall unconscious. He was arrested by the police. His parents severed ties with him. The victim took him to court, and when he couldn't pay compensation, he was sentenced to prison. Not long after being incarcerated, he was diagnosed with HIV. Without timely use of preventive medication, his body deteriorated completely before he died. His parents didn't even claim his body. The school had to pay for his cremation. His ashes were placed in the funeral home unclaimed. And in my previous life, because of Su Jing, I neglected too much of my studies. After taking over my father's company, I was overwhelmed, often suffering from not having enough knowledge stored in my brain, and made quite a few mistakes. In this new life, I don't want to disappoint my parents' expectations of me again. Looking up, I noticed someone had sat down across from me at some point. The person across from me noticed my gaze, looked up at me briefly, then quickly lowered their head, picked up a pen and scribbled for a while before passing me a note. "I heard about everything. Don't be sad. That kind of girl isn't worth your heartache." I smiled, then drew a smiley face and passed it back. The girl glanced at the note, secretly looked me over, and seeing me smiling at her, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I could clearly tell she became distracted, and sure enough, she secretly passed me another note. "Do you remember me?" Now it was my turn to be stunned. I did indeed remember her. In my previous life, she was my attending physician, Zhang Yurong. She was also the girl who secretly wiped tears for me after my death. But why is she asking me now if I still remember her? Zhang Yurong noticed my confusion. A flash of sadness crossed her eyes, but she quickly perked up again and passed me another note. "Then let's get to know each other again. My name is Zhang Yurong." Next to these words was a smiley face. It turns out she was also a student at this school, but because of her excellent academics, she had been admitted to graduate school a year early and left for a medical college. That was the same year I confessed to Su Jing. She had actually liked me for a long time, watching me from campus paths or in the cafeteria, but back then my eyes were only on Su Jing with no room for other girls. Looking back now, I was such a big fool. In this life, I won't miss out again. I smiled and said, "Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Gunyen." The librarian from across the room shot me a sharp glance, and Zhang Yuro covered her mouth to stifle her laughter. I felt somewhat embarrassed, yet couldn't suppress the smile at the corners of my mouth. From that day on, we always went to the library to study together. She was completely different from Su Jing. Su Jing was always hot and cold with me, making it difficult to understand her true feelings, but Zhang Yuro was like the sun, always radiating her light and warmth toward me. She would seriously plan future directions with me, making promises about things we would do together. She would urge me to complete the goals we had set, and would also act spoiled when she was tired. She was also happy to share interesting things from her daily classes with me, sharing every bit of joy in life. She told me she was born into a medical family, with her parents and brother all being doctors. She was currently preparing to apply for graduate school, also in medicine. When she first dissected a small animal, an irrepressible fear welled up inside her. With tears in her eyes, she confided her inner struggle to me. I comforted her with deep sympathy, but she told me firmly, "Saving lives and healing the injured is my dream. No matter how difficult it is, I will persevere in my efforts." A month later, I confessed my feelings to Zhang Yuro, and she quickly accepted. This time I didn't make it so high profile, but instead went to the coffee shop we often visited near our school. While I was basking in the happiness with Zhang Yuro, the arrival of an unexpected visitor made my mood turn sour again. On this day, Zhang Yuro said she needed to meet with her advisor and couldn't have dinner with me that evening. Since it was Friday, I thought it would be nice to go home and have dinner with my parents. I had just left campus and was heading to the nearby parking lot where my car was parked. Suddenly, a disheveled figure with tattered clothes rushed in front of me, blocking my path. "Gunyen! Gunyen! It's me, Su Jing." I frowned, looking with disgust at the emaciated woman before me. The once glamorous campus belle now looked like a madwoman, with no trace of her former glory. "Who are you? I don't know you." My voice was ice-cold without a hint of emotion. Su Jing grabbed the edge of my clothes, crying out, "Gunyen, I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please forgive me. I have nothing now, only you can help me." I sneered, yanking her hand away. "Stay away, you disgust me." "No. Gunyen, I remember everything now. I had a dream. In my past life I did so many things to hurt you. But you still loved me so much, you won't abandon me." Su Jing shook her head frantically, her words incoherent. I looked at Su Jing's distorted face, a trace of mockery flashed in my eyes. "You remember now? Good that you remember. Do you think I would forgive you for all the things you've done?" There wasn't a hint of compassion in my heart, only endless disgust. At this moment, Zhang Yuro came over carrying her backpack. Seeing me being entangled by a strange woman, she quickly walked over and asked with concern, "Gunyen, what's happening?" I gently put my arm around Zhang Yuro's shoulders and said softly, "Yuro, didn't you say you were going to see your advisor today? Why are you back so soon?" Zhang Yuro replied helplessly, "The advisor is on a business trip." I smiled and nodded, taking Zhang Yuro's hand, leaving without looking back. Su Jing stood frozen in place, watching our intimate figures walking away, her eyes filled with despair and madness. "No, this is impossible. I don't believe it. Gunyen is mine. He is mine." Ah, she knew she would never be able to win my love again. Su Jing let out a piercing scream, then rushed like a madwoman into the cold night. "Was that Su Jing just now?" Zhang Yuro looked at me puzzledly and asked. I nodded, but I still saw something unusual in her eyes. "Did she do something to you?" Zhang Yuro nodded and continued. "Once she called some thugs from outside the school wanting to humiliate me. I was really scared at the time and didn't know what to do. Fortunately, a police officer passing by after work saved me." "What? How dare she do that?" I stroked Zhang Yuro's head affectionately and comforted her. "I'm sorry, Yuro, that you had to suffer." Hearing this, anger surged uncontrollably in my chest. Zhang Yuro, however, gripped my hand tightly, indicating that she didn't really blame Su Jing, as someone had told her that she was also secretly in love with me, so that's why she found people to warn her. But everything was in the past now. However, I didn't expect that Su Jing would return. I walked to the parking lot, about to open the car door. A woman shouted loudly, "You bitch, I'm going to kill you." Before I could react, Zhang Yuro had already fallen beside me. Su Jing, with blood on her knife, was grinning viciously and saying, she's dead, she won't survive. Gunyen, no one can stop us now. Ha ha ha." I quickly picked up Zhang Yuro. The clothes on her back were completely stained red with blood, and she had lost consciousness. At that moment, the bodyguard ran over from a distance, shouting sternly, "Take this crazy woman to the police, and make sure she never appears in front of me again." The bodyguard was also frightened, looking at Zhang Yuro, who was covered in blood. Fortunately, there was a first aid kit that Jong Euro had placed in the car. I quickly stuffed hemostatic cotton into her wound. Then I immediately called an ambulance. A few minutes later, emergency doctors arrived and took her to the hospital. After a night of emergency treatment, Jong Euro's life was saved. The doctor said if the knife had deviated by just a few millimeters, it would have pierced her heart directly, and even the most skilled medical specialists would have been powerless to save her. As for Su Jing, she was already delirious by the time she was taken to the police. She managed to bite one of the bodyguards on the wrist. Since it was known that this woman had HIV, he immediately went to the hospital for preventative treatment. I gave the bodyguard an additional 500,000 yuan as work injury compensation, allowing him to recover at home. My lawyer notified Su Jing's parents, who only then discovered their daughter had caused trouble again, this time nearly causing a death. They knelt down begging for my forgiveness. But when I thought about how Jong Euro almost died, my chest burned with anger, and I directed them plainly. Why? I have plenty of money, but what I want is for Su Jing to go to prison. The court quickly made its judgment. Su Jing was sentenced to 20 years in prison for attempted murder. Due to her HIV status and mental illness, she was sent directly to a psychiatric hospital under special confinement, where no one could visit her without police permission. 1 month later, I proposed to